Greetings, viewers. Night here, bringing you another commentary. Today's target is Bill Maher, a political commentator slash comedian. I've heard him be called both, so please correct me if I'm mistaken on either. Last year around November, the great comic book reader Stan Lee passed away, and America went into mourning. And then some outrage when people tried to capitalize on his death. While I'm not going to say Bill did that exactly, he did post a blog that got a negative response from people that were fans of Stan's work.
The guy who created Spider-Man and the Hulk has died, and America is in mourning. Deep in mourning for a man who inspired millions to, I don't know, watch a movie, I guess. Someone on Reddit posted, "I'm so incredibly grateful I lived in a world that included Stan Lee. Personally, I'm grateful I lived in a world that included oxygen and trees, but to each his own." Now, I have nothing against comic books. I read them now and then when I was a kid and I was all Hardy Boys. But the assumption everyone had back then, both the adults and the kids, was that comics were for kids, and when you grow up, you moved on to big boy books without pictures. But then, 20 years or so ago, something happened. Adult society, they didn't have to give up kid stuff. And so they pretended comic books were actually sophisticated literature. And because America has 4,500 colleges, which means we need more professors than we have smart people, some dumb people got to be professors by writing theses with titles like Otherness and Heterodoxy and the Silver Surfer. And now when adults are forced to do grown-up things like buy auto insurance, they call it adulting and act like it's some giant struggle. I'm not saying we've necessarily gotten stupider. The average Joe is smarter in a lot of ways than he was in, say, the 1940s, when a big night out was a Three Stooges short and a Carmen Miranda musical. The problem is we're using our smarts on stupid stuff. I don't think it's a huge stretch to suggest that Donald Trump could only get elected in a country that thinks comic books are important. Heh. Oh my god, fuck you.
So, Bill's mentality here is, comics are for kids and adults need to grow up. An opinion he still stands behind, as we'll see. Despite him saying he also read comics as a kid, I doubt he read anything outside the Golden or Silver Age. Yet, when comics had to be toned down for kids because parent groups deemed all the violence, gore, and other adult situations harmful for children. I also love the last paragraph of his blog. Apparently, if you liked the Three Stooges back in the day, you were a dummy. I mean, that's just my interpretation of what he's saying here. And of course, you wouldn't be a political commentator unless you shoehorned Trump into this somehow. Disclaimer, I'm aware that not all political commentators shoehorn Trump into their videos. Hashtag not all political commentators. Like I said, this blog was met with some backlash. And on the 25th of January, Bill responded to this backlash on his YouTube channel, Real Talk with Bill Maher. And yes, I'm aware that this is meant to be a comedic segment on his show, but if this is Bill's idea of comedy, then I have to question his sense of humor.
To every person on social media who's asked me since November, "Bill, what do you have to say about Stan Lee?" And to every paparazzi outside a restaurant who's still shouting at me, "Bill, what about the Stan Lee thing?" Okay, your day has come. Tonight's editorial is about Stan Lee, who, if you missed it, died in November. And a few days later, I posted a blog that was in no way an attack on Mr. Lee, but took the occasion of his death to express my dismay at people who think comic books are literature and superhero movies are great cinema, and who in general are stuck in an everlasting childhood.
Okay, to give you some credit, tone is difficult to convey through text. While people may have not liked your message, it is possible that it could have been misconstrued by readers. However, the way you act in this video doesn't really clear up any misunderstandings people may have had. It actually kind of reinforces the assumptions that you were going out of your way to be a dick because you personally don't find value in Stan's work.
Bragging that you're all about the Marvel Universe is like boasting that your mother still pins your mittens to your sleeves. You can, if you want, like the exact same things you liked when you were 10. But if you do, you need to grow up. That was the point of my blog.
While also judging people's intellects based on the type of content they consume, but details.
I'm not glad Stan Lee is dead. I'm sad you're alive. Well, let me tell you, people were pissed about this post. I wasn't even aware that I had ruffled so many capes. Until I saw that 40,000 Twitter followers unfollowed me like that. To which I say, good riddance, follow Yogi Bear.
Nice to see how much you don't value your fan base, Bill. I wouldn't be surprised if you lost even more followers after this video. This is a trend I see with quite a few YouTubers with a large following. Lily Orchard, Relistify, Digibro. Do you have an opinion they don't like? They'll tell you you're wrong and to leave if you don't agree with them. Telling these people you're glad they unfollowed you makes you look way more immature than anyone who likes comics, Bill.
Director Kevin Smith accused me of taking a shot when no shots are fucking necessary. Except again, my shot wasn't at Stan Lee. It was at, you know, grown men who still dress like kids.
Yeah, and that's what Kevin meant. You were taking shots at people that like Stan Lee's work and saying that comics are for kids and only kids. How that didn't occur to you between then and now, I'll never know. Also, classy how you try to devalue what Kevin said by saying he's a man-child based on his casual wear. I could just as easily call you a stuffy old man since your hair seems to be graying and you're wearing a suit. But commenting on how you look really wouldn't validate anything I have to say against you, or invalidate anything you have to say.
I learned about social justice and racial tolerance by reading comic books. Okay, but now you have pubic hair.
Zing, Bill. You got him. You are truly the embodiment of maturity.
Read James Baldwin, read Toni Morrison, read Michael Eric Dyson. Even a book as dumb as the Bible gets this. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things, including my X-Men bedsheets.
Never thought I'd hear someone misquote the Bible for something dumber than justifying homophobia. Bill, that line means that children have a simplistic worldview. Not that you should stop liking whatever you liked as a kid.
Can we stop pretending that the writing in comic books is so good? Oh, please. Every superhero movie's the same thing. A person who doesn't have powers gets them, has to figure out how they work, and then has to find a glowy thing. Justice League, glowy thing. Iron Man, glowy thing. Spider-Man, glowy thing. Captain America, glowy thing. Glowy thing, glowy thing, glowy thing.
Except Tony Stark doesn't have powers, it's his suit. And it's more super science than anything. The fact you don't know the basics of Iron Man lore tells me you don't know what you're talking about. So, as you just saw, Bill went from talking about comics to superhero movies, generalizing them all as being the exact same thing. Despite, you know, the first major conflict of The Incredibles being that superheroes were no longer allowed to use their powers due to all the collateral damage their battles with villains caused, and people claiming emotional distress, resulting in superheroes having to live like regular people. Deadpool didn't get his powers from a glowy thing. He was mutated by the Weapon X program. And he's more of an anti-villain who's canonically despised by most of the Marvel Universe due to him either unintentionally causing chaos wherever he goes, or screwing over people for his own benefit. I actually typed in Spider-Man glowy thing when I watched this the first time, and the first thing that came up was the page for the Goblin formula. Although someone who looked over my script pointed out that Bill was possibly talking about one of the Infinity Stones. Except Spider-Man never found the stone himself in the movie. And besides, the Infinity Stones are meant to be a build-up to the movie Infinity War, where the Avengers have to prevent the movie's villain Thanos from twisting reality to his liking with the Infinity Gauntlet. You can't just say, all these movies are the same because glowy thing, and expect that alone to justify why you don't like them. The Justice League isn't even part of the Marvel Universe. So what glowy thing from that movie are you talking about?
There's nothing wrong with a man writing comic books. There is something wrong with adults thinking they're profound.
Even though you just generalized every superhero movie being the exact same thing. Again, writing for comics has come a long way since the Gold and Silver Age where things were a lot more camp and lighthearted. I mean, there are some truly terrible comics out there like Marvel, but that was more due to Bill Jemas having made the book on a bed and lacking self-awareness.
The folks at Stan's company, Team Stan, wrote an open letter to me and said, you have a right to your opinion that comics are childish and unsophisticated. Many said the same about Dickens, Steinbeck, Melville, and even Shakespeare. No, they didn't. No one ever said that. No one ever said King Lear or Moby Dick was childish and unsophisticated. If you ever read a book without pictures, you'd know that.
So my friend Jellystar pointed me in the direction of this article. 5 writers who really hated Shakespeare, which was posted in 2015, 3 years before Bill's video was even thought of. A list of writers who all negatively criticized Shakespeare's work. Leo Tolstoy, the man who wrote War and Peace, called Shakespeare's work trivial and positively bad, as well as called King Lear repulsive and tedious. I'll leave a link to the article in the description. Bill, you would have known about these people if you had done any amount of research rather than just assume that you knew better than Stan Lee's team.
Comics are for kids. That's why they sell them next to the Pokemon cards and not on the aisle with the condoms and the lube.
Well, since comics are for kids, I'll give my nephews a copy of Psycho Man #1.
Fuck the world. Hey, buttlicker. Yeah, that's right. I can fucking fly, you goddamn asshole. So take that fucking bullshit and shove it up your ass.
And I really should have gotten them Santa the Barbarian for Christmas.
Happy Christmas to all, and to all a big knife!
I wonder, do you think they would like the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? You know, that comic where they basically tell Shredder to commit suicide after beating him? Or maybe The Mask. You know, that comic where anyone who puts on the title mask would become a violent, crazed serial killer? There's also a comic where a man is completely willing to be an absolute jackass to a Jewish family, simply because he and his buddies don't like Jewish people, only to learn that he was adopted, he's Jewish, and suffer the same treatment at the hands of his ex-friends. Yeah, see how no one who's read comics past their childhood would take these generalizations seriously? The way you talk, comics that have cursing, violence, and sexual situations are A-okay for kids to read. Bill, you just want to write them off as kid stuff because you think you're too old for them.
Grown-ups these days, they cling so desperately to their childhood that when they do attempt to act their age, they have a special word for it now. Adulting. Hey world, look at me. I just made my own eye appointment. Hashtag adulting. Eating vegetables, adulting. Today I wiped my own ass. I guess I'm turning into my dad.
Adulting has been a meme since 2011. It ain't this brand new trend like you think it is. Ending it here, since I'm pretty sure he just goes on to a different topic altogether. I honestly can't be sure, since this is where the video just stops. Look, you don't like superheroes or comics? Fine, I'm not trying to make you. But don't go around acting like fans of something you dislike are beneath you in terms of maturity and intellect. Of course, Bill obviously won't change his mind on this issue. And from what I've seen from JXC's video, responding to comments he got on his own video on Bill, it's likely that anyone who wants to look adult will just agree with Bill, and will just try to write off or dismiss anyone who makes any counter arguments against him. With all that said, this is Night I Die saying thanks for watching, and please share your thoughts with me.